one of the ways that human beings are unique in the animal world is the subtle and sophisticated way we are social. And it doesn't take long to work that out. In fact, we're working it out from the very beginnings, how to fit into a group. And that comes to quite an acute point in our adolescence, where we're becoming independent from our family group, or less dependent, and trying to work out where we belong in the world. And we form groups with our peers and try to learn the cues about what it means to be in a particular group. And none of that is good or bad, it's just a thing and something to be aware of. Because the truth is, we need a group. Human beings, again, are uniquely built to be social animals. We don't survive on our own. Everything from the infrastructure of our cities and towns to our communications to our education system and everything else is profoundly interconnected. You're probably watching this on a smart device that was built in another country and shipped over using an internet service, which, internetworked, interconnected networks. That's what we are. That's what we do as human beings. So it's good to be aware of that, because we exert all sorts of subtle and sophisticated pressure on one another to indicate what it means to fit in our group in certain situations. And this is also quite neutral, because there can be good things that we can communicate, things like mutual respect, it's a good thing. Caring for one another, also pretty good. Telling the truth, not taking stuff off each other that we haven't given permission to have taken from us. Those sorts of things are all very important, and it's good to teach one another about those things in our subtle and sophisticated ways. But social pressure can also work in ways that start to act against the social body, kind of like an autoimmune disorder where the body turns on itself, and we start to act in ways that perhaps exclude certain people or blame certain people, individuals or minorities, in ways that make the majority feel better but are profoundly destructive for the social body as a whole. And so it pays to be aware of what's going on in the subtle and sophisticated communications that you're both sending out and receiving in your social group. At Wesley College, of course, there's different groups of students who behave in different ways, and you can have different social groups that like different things, and all of that's good and helpful and wonderful. Keep an eye out for when that becomes toxic, because it can happen, and it can happen really subtly and really quickly, and you probably don't want to be part of your group turning toxic, even though it feels like you're protected by weight of how many people are involved, and if everyone's doing it, must be okay. If you're involved in doing something destructive, you feel that within yourself, and that is something that you don't want to do, I don't think. And if you find yourself caught up in that, it's never too late to turn around. In religious circles, we have this thing called repentance. It's quite useful, and we also have gobloads of forgiveness, also very useful. So be aware of how you are social. Be aware of the impact of that, both on you and other people. Being social is, of course, necessary, and most of the dynamics that we engage in that realm are fairly neutral. Just look for whether they are helping to build the social body or whether they've become destructive to the social body. And one of the key signs, I think, is when we start to blame or victimise people within our social body or push people out. That's often an indicator that things are going bad. or unhelpful or destructive. So, go this way. I'm Dave Gore, you know me, guy with the silly shirts on. I'll see you around the college. Ciao.